Alright guys, what's up? So today's video I figured I would address some differences between the two different types of dot on the XS sight systems. As many as you know, I definitely prefer the XS dot sights for my carry guns, but there are a couple of differences between the standard size dot and the big. Well, actually just one difference, but it seems as though over the past couple months I've kind of been getting inundated with questions from commenters wanting to know which one I like better, which one I prefer, what the differences are, how much difference in size they are, and if there's any difference between the rear sight. So let's get into it. First off, on the SIG P320, I just have the standard dot, and that's pretty much your sight picture right there, if I can get it to focus in there. Really, the only difference I'd see between like different sights as far as like the set for the SIG and the Glock. Now you will have on a lot of different models kind of like a different size or different shape to the rear sight, but both on the SIG and the Glock they're essentially the same. It's pretty much low profile, but you do have a nice good sharp edge in case you have to rack the slide off a belt or a holster or your boot or something like that. Both sets I've got, obviously including this one, has the tritium stripe in the rear. So you can order some sights, some sets that don't have the rear stripe of tritium in it, just the front dot. I prefer both. Many people prefer just to have the front, and I totally understand that. So essentially, yeah, low profile rear, but definitely a good enough hook to where you can grab onto stuff. And essentially, there you can get a close look at the dot. So it's still bigger than a typical, I would say, typical narrow striped sight with the white outline and the tritium inside. So lastly, we'll look at the set of big dots. So again, you can kind of notice the similarity between the size and the shape of the rear sight, also how it has the stripe of tritium, and then there's your profile and front view of the big dot. So that's one another thing that I guess I forgot to mention about both sets of sights. The side profile, I would say, is definitely about the same. One thing I like about the XS sights is they're not like, you know, 3 miles tall. I absolutely hate tall, skinny front sight posts. They drive me crazy. I find it hard to pick them up quickly, and it always seems like my point of impact is always at least, I don't know, an inch or two lower than what I expect it to be. So again, hence the reason why they call it a big dot is because the dot is bigger. So obviously, I think, you know, your tritium vial is essentially the same size, but just the white surrounding area of the tritium is just larger. So I guess comparing the two side by side, honestly, I don't really see a huge difference. I mean, obviously there is, you know, a size difference, but as far as when you're actually running the gun, this one may seem like gigantic at first if you've never used these sights, but I assure you it's not a problem. I regularly try to shoot at distances that typically, you know, pistol isn't made for. I like to shoot at 50, 60 yards at my steel plate. But as far as which one I like better, damn, that's hard to say. Honestly, regardless if it sounds like a cop-out or not, I would say it's pretty much equal. I do find the big dots, I am slightly faster with them at anywhere, probably at about 15 to 20 yards and in, as far as, you know, getting good kill shots whenever I practice, especially like from the holster when I draw. But as far as the standard dots, to me it doesn't really seem like it's that much slower, but I do notice a little bit of increased, at least perceived, accuracy when I shoot out past 20 yards. Because like I said, I get bored at just shooting, you know, traditional pistol lengths, pistol target lengths. I get so completely bored with just shooting, you know, 15 yards and in. So I like to put my targets out at, you know, 50, 60 yards. I'm not quite good enough to consistently hit my shootsteel.com target at 75 and more. And I'd probably about a 40% hit rate. But so, like I said, when using the SIG, again, that could also be the difference in the gun too, but you tend to be able to see just maybe a slight more, I guess, mass of your target when I use the standard dot. But again, using the big dot, it's not that big a difference. So it's kind of just really up to you. I don't see a huge drastic difference. I will say that even though I do own other sights, Mariglow Pro iDots and the Trijicon HDs, which, you know, both sets of sights I do well with, and I like having them on my guns. It seems like for whatever reason I always tend to default back to the XS sights. Excuse me, can't talk today. So whether it's the standard or the big dot, so it's just kind of up to you to decide what you think you want, what you think you need. So hopefully that answered some questions. That's pretty much the best I can do to explain it, at least, you know, in my own words. So get you a set of these and try them out for yourself. Thanks.